So yeah, I just want to say sorry to all you guys. I apologize for us playing this poorly, losing all 4 games. We're gonna do our best to turn this around, to give you guys out there what you actually deserve, and return to our form and become that team that actually made it to the World Finals. Just need a bit of time, be a little patient if needed, but we're gonna get there for sure.
Hello everyone, this is Darius from the Shotcaller. I'm very honored to be joined by Broxah even in this difficult time. Thank you very much for doing this interview. You guys are 0-4 now after 2 weeks. You just lost to Schalke. A difficult game to watch, probably a difficult game to play. What is going through your system right now after this loss now as well?
Well, to be fair, I'm still pretty emotional. Like, it's only 5-10 minutes since we were on stage and lost the game, right? Like, 0-4 is really, really not okay. So there's a lot of emotions going through my mind, like not only yesterday and today, but like, already when we were 0-2, it's, like it's just really, really unacceptable. So I have a lot of feelings. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm sad, I'm depressed. There's so many sad feelings, negative feelings going through my mind. And especially because this morning I was actually really, really hopeful. Mm-hmm. Like, I felt so good waking up today, and I was like, now it's going to be the day we're going to turn it around. Now we're going to break the curse, or whatever you want to call it, because I feel like one of the surprising things for me is that the first 2 weeks of scrims leading up to week 1 were actually really, really, really good. Like, they were really good. Then we go on stage, everything falls apart in week 1. Then we work on it till this weekend, and then everything just falls apart again. And honestly, I'm not even sure what exactly is going on. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's just routines and stuff that we still have to get into. Maybe we just have to actually. I'm not even sure, honestly. I'm not sure. Everything is just falling apart on stage, and it's really sad to be part of.
That was what I was going to ask you, whether there are any things that you can pinpoint towards and go hey, these are the things we 100% need to fix for the upcoming week. So because we can't keep on losing, of course, there needs to be aspiration. Are there specific points where you would immediately go communication, calls, anything like that?
Well, I think our early game is a big problem for sure. This game we just played was lost probably already from level 1. I believe they went 0 flash level 1, and then our bot lane had a really, really hard time laning after that. Yesterday we had a really, really awkward and random level 1 invade that went really horrible. And then, even after being in that position, we still came back, and then, our super fair team was in a really good spot, and then we threw the game again. So I think our early game especially has been really, really bad. Our mid game, not the greatest either, that's for sure. But I also think we've showed that we're pretty good at playing late game. Like this game, for example, we were so far behind. It was unbelievable. Yeah. And we still actually, I wouldn't say almost came back, but we stalled the game out. We just sat on our tier 2s and in our base from 12 minutes onwards and took it to almost 40, which I think is, that's something right, but we shouldn't be in that position to begin with. So I think early game, not good enough. That's definitely something we have to fix. And I actually think if we can start with that step, then playing mid game is also naturally going to be easier, because most games we played, we've just been behind almost from the start, or something has gone wrong, in the first 5 minutes at least.
Yeah, it's been, in this one in particular, I think you saw a lot of that happening. There was a fight where you guys went 4-4 in terms of kills, but then, you have a player like Otawanda on the enemy team who just pulls the trigger twice, and then it's game over. I feel like in those situations, you might be able to make a comeback against, weaker teams, but against a team like Schalke, there's no coming back in that situation, realistically.
I also feel like, in reality, we have played some of the really good teams. I think SK has looked really, really up and down. But especially early game, they look really, really strong. So I don't think losing to them is embarrassing at all. I think they look like a good team, and generally, this weekend we had Vitality Schalke, teams that we should be able to beat. But at the same time, it's no shame losing to them either. The problem for me is that we're losing all these games, meaning that we're falling really, really far behind in the standings. So we're not in a fun position now, and we're gonna have to pull things together, get our shit together, and make stuff work, because at this point we can't play around anymore. Like, we really need some wins on the board.
Yeah, I mean, it's really sound the alarm right now. I mean, 0-4 when.
Well, to be fair, I'm not fully stressed. I wouldn't go panic mode yet.
2 weeks.
We've seen in the past, like, teams. I think there was a split where Vitality was like 7-0 or 9-0 or something, and then they ended up in like middle of the table, even though they were so far ahead of everyone. The opposite has happened as well. Like, H2K was like 0-7, 0-8, and then they also got to playoffs and looked like a really strong team. Hopefully we don't go that far. Hopefully we don't end up losing that many games. But knowing that we're a strong team, and knowing that it's still really possible. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, next week, if we come in, we win both our games, then we're still a little behind compared to the top teams, but we're in a completely fine spot to actually make it far, right? And I feel like the worst part about it for me is that after every game, I've had the feeling that we could have won this game, we should have won this game, and it's really small things that have costed the game in the end. Like, maybe if you look from the outside, it looks like a giant mess and we're just falling apart and playing horrible. That might be the case, I don't know, but when you're in the game, it's different. And there's just some moments in each game where I feel like if this didn't happen, or if we reacted differently as a team or individually in this specific moment, then we would actually have won this game. We would have turned it around. Or if this didn't happen, we would have actually won early game. And I feel like that's the most depressing thing, because that's how I felt yesterday, and that's how I feel again now. And that part is really, really annoying.
Does it almost feel a bit surreal, this entire situation, going from Worlds Finals to an off season that was interesting, but you guys were hyped. We also saw the Fnatic conference thing in the gaming house, and everyone was super hyped and happy. Scrims were allegedly going well, all that kind of stuff, and then you go on stage and just 0-4, and all of a sudden you're like, nightmare? Can I please wake up? Like, what does that feel like for you?
It feels pretty weird. I wouldn't say it feels completely surreal, because every split we've always been doing pretty poorly at the beginning, but we would still scratch together a few wins, right? Like, we would go like 1-3 or 2-2 or whatever. It wouldn't be this bad. And yeah, like, it feels weird being in this situation. I don't think we're a team that should be at the bottom either. Like, I think even though we've lost so many games, our skill level definitely isn't at the bottom of the table. I think we should be up there challenging the best teams, and hopefully it's just a matter of time before we manage to prove that. What exactly is going on, I'm not sure if it's mentality, if it's stress, whatever it is. But one thing is for sure, that all of us know that this is not okay. This is not how we want to play. This is not what we want to give our fans out there. And we're just going to do everything we can to actually make it work, right? Like, we have some really tough and stressful weeks ahead of us, but I still believe.
You must always believe at the end of the day. That's the only thing you have sometimes.
Of course.
Otherwise, you might as well give up,
Well, I go on, like, it's actually pretty weird to me. What I find surreal is that, for example, after the first week, I was really careful about going on social media, because I know how fast people change their opinions. Yeah. And we were getting flamed to the ground, and we started at like the top of the rankings, and then all of a sudden we're like at the bottom after 2 games. I think this type of stuff is pretty confusing and pretty weird, but at the same time, I also see a lot of positive and hopeful comments out there, and people that actually believe in us. And in reality, like, why wouldn't we, or why wouldn't they, right? We just played the Worlds Finals a few months ago. In no world we should be a team that is stuck at the bottom. Like, there's no world where we can all of a sudden have become so bad that we are at the bottom. So, like, that's how I see it. So we just need to figure out our issues, work on them, and then I believe it's just a matter of time before we can actually, contest with the big boys again, if you can put it that way.
Yeah. I mean, like it reminds me of traditional sports in many senses. You know, sometimes you just have like a really great striker, but he can't fucking like he can't score. Like he hits the crossbar, he hits the pole, but he hits it perfectly, but the goalkeeper saves it. Everything happens, and then like he scores his first goal, and then he starts banging them in. That has happened like so many times.
Like, you know, sometimes you just need that one win to get momentum, and then you can start rolling. Yeah. And obviously, that's something we really need right now. Like, we really need that one win so we can, you know, prove to everyone out there and to ourselves that, you know, we belong here. We can easily contest all these teams. We can easily beat everyone. And deep inside, we know that. But at one point, it would be nice to have the actual proof, right? And I think it's just a matter of time before that win comes. At this point, I have to say I surely believe it's going to come next weekend. There's no 0-6 in my world. Like, that's really not allowed to happen. And yeah, I mean, we'll just see how it goes from here. But it cannot be any worse. It can only get better, and I'm very hopeful, at least.
I am as well, of course. Anything you would like to say to the Fnatic fans watching?
Well, part of why I wanted to do this interview was actually to get some inside the team force out to the fans, because I'm sure that it feels really, really bad being a Fnatic fan right now. It feels really, really bad being a player as well. I can tell you that much. So yeah, I just want to say sorry to all you guys. I apologize for us playing this poorly, losing all 4 games. We're gonna do our best to turn this around, to give you guys out there what you actually deserve, and return to our form and become that team that actually made it to the World Finals. Just need a bit of time, be a little patient if needed, but we're going to get there for sure.
Thank you very much for your time. A hashtag?
What hashtag? Like, hashtag win incoming next week.
Okay, hashtag win coming next week. Thank you so much, Broxah, for your time. Very nice talking to you, of course. And yeah, best of luck in the upcoming week. Hopefully, no 0-2 again, but we'll have to see. Not happening. This was Darius on the Shotcaller. Hope you had a good day. See you guys then. Bye-bye. We'd especially like to thank Krzysztof Buchnevich, Etienne, Thomas Göttel, Dominik Bolze, Lazy Raven, Erich Althaus, and Macic for your support, and of course all the other people whose names you see scrolling past you on the screen right now. Without you, our work wouldn't be possible. Thank you.